welcome to the Easily Excitable podcast. My name is Top, and with me this week is Derek. Hey man, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Yeah. I'm doing all right. Things are going okay, and yeah, 2019's got off to I don't know, like a strange start, but things seem to be making progress. How's 2019 been suiting you?
It's actually been pretty decent.
Uh huh.
It's already had ups and downs, so
Uh huh.
but right now we're on the up, so
Nice. Yeah. So there's a few things to talk about today. You've started like DMing for a campaign with some people. And
yes and no. So
uh-huh,
I it was originally supposed to be one of the people in the campaign. They were supposed to DM, but
uh-huh,
uh I'm not sure if they were just like busy with life or just didn't have the motivation to write something just because I
uh-huh.
know how that's like when you're supposed to write something. If you don't have motivation,
Yeah.
you can't write.
Mm-hmm.
But also life just could have happened. So I was like, you know what? And I've been watching a lot of Critical Role
Yeah.
and stuff. And I was like, it would be cool to be a DM, like not just be one character, but be every other character.
Yeah.
And so I pitched the idea. I was like, hey, I might want to be a DM. And then that same person was like, you're the DM, let's do it. We're gonna make it happen. And next thing I'm now making this world off the top of my head every day since I'm at work,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been pretty good. I did session zeros with everyone,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't like how everyone like it's like, oh, you all start in a tavern and you all are
Yeah.
waiting for a job. It's like, no, I want to make it like, how did they get there? Like one by one, why do they all come at the same time, and just happen to be there and want to work together? So I get a little bit more detail of why that's happening. I've done just about every single one except
Mm-hmm.
for one person. We're still waiting on their story and everything.
Oh, okay. Cool. Um, how are you finding like creating the world and populating it with like characters?
It's more difficult than it seems
Mm-hmm.
because I'm trying to do like voices for everyone. Obviously, some have already overlapped because I'm not a professional voice actor.
Yeah.
But just to give a little bit more of a to help the new people experience, oh, these are different people that I'm talking to rather than, oh, Derek's just every single one. Which one are you right now?
Yeah.
Um, and then luckily none of them have asked for names. Like so I'm just like, okay, I don't have to scramble and make up a name. I think one person started asking names. I was like, cool, this isn't bad because I'm just making these NPCs who are never gonna be seen again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, fair
So
enough. Yeah, it's one of those things. Just like I'm always like, oh yeah, what name should I give them? And it's always useful to just like have a list of names that you can just pick from, and then
hmm.
as you're going along, you're like, yes, I had that chosen the
Yep.
whole time.
Another reason why I want to do it is because at work, I just have so much thinking time. I
Hmm.
come up with laudable PCs for future campaigns. I'm like, I'm never gonna play half of these. So I was like,
Yeah.
well, I could just put those in my campaign. Boom. Then
Hmm.
I'm gonna be able to play them.
Hmm. Yeah. There's a lot of fun things you can do. Like yeah, having a list of people. Like it's all about like creating the illusion that you know what you're doing,
Oh,
even when your
exactly.
players like throw you a curveball, and it's like, what am I doing?
Exactly. Yeah, it's just I think our buddy Shoban, his experience, he's doing the whole thing and the whole time I'm just like panicking. I'm like, "Oh my God, I don't know what to do. I'm so nervous." But from what he said, he was like, "Oh no, you did a pretty good job." And I was like, "I fooled you. You fell for my illusion."
Nice. What kind of like world is it you're like in? Is it kind of medieval style with magic, or is it?
It's a typical fantasy, kind of like just Lord of the Rings.
Hmm.
Maybe a little bit more little bit more advanced,
Mhm.
but just a typical D&D stuff.
Ah,
I
cool.
think I might
Cool.
have guns in it, but like
Oh,
very
yeah.
few, just to say like this is kind of the start of the invention. That way, no one's overpowered by them. But
Yeah, yeah. I think introducing things like that can be very, very challenging. I think,
hmm
yeah, like I'm like interested in creating a world at the moment where like magic's really limited, and I'm trying to
hmm
figure out like how that would work, or try and figure out a way where like in a different world, for example, like magic would be overflowing, so that like people need to be really careful about magic.
hmm
But then like you've got to consider like, oh, if magic is rare, like how many sorcerers or magic users do you have in the party? And yeah, it's just trying to figure that out, because if you've got a bunch of people that use magic in one party in a world where magic isn't common, like that's not really going to work particularly
hmm
well, because they'll very quickly become known throughout the world, and you've got to take that into consideration as well. So
hmm
yeah, it's one of the things I've been thinking about a lot recently, and I'm just like, I don't even have anyone to play this campaign idea with. I just am having these ideas. So yeah, yeah. How's it like all coming together? Is it are you just like thinking of things and adding them on, or are you like setting down one
It's it
idea and then
it's
working
actually
on that?
coming a lot from inspiration from other stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like for example, or I'm not gonna give the examples just in case some of them listen to this and go, "Oh, I know what's going on."
Uh-huh.
I'll give the franchise. So like some of it I took from Final Fantasy.
Uh-huh.
I was like, "Oh, I like that idea of a story. Let me just tweak it around a little bit to make it my own rather than copy word for word." And then that way they also get a little bit more details of and more in depth since they're actually going to be role playing it rather than the game just telling you, "Hey, this is happening."
Yeah.
Uh, and then it could also not happen the exact way I planned to. Um,
Yeah. Something can go wrong.
exactly. So
Could
like I
always
can
go
have
wrong.
all this plan of like I already have the main villain planned out, and I already have how he's going to get into power
Mhm.
and all that, or she. I'm just saying he as a general term, but
Yeah.
I know how they are gonna like basically be in control. But who knows? They might be able to tell who the villain is right away and like we're gonna take you out before you get into power
Hmm.
or stuff
Yeah.
like that. And I'd be like, well, time to make a villain number two, who I have no idea how to make right now.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Cool. So kind of speaking of Final Fantasy, like in a week and a bit, depending on like which part of the world you're at, I think we figured out like Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be coming out.
hmm
And until like a week ago, I just hadn't recognized that it was coming out that soon, and I'm just like, we're going to see more of Sora's adventures in the Disney World, and there'll be Final Fantasy characters, and it's going to be cool. I hope it's good, but I don't know what to expect from it really.
Okay, so I'm a little confused because I pre-ordered it and everything,
Mhm.
um, and on my app, it shows me my pre-orders and says, "Hey, you have X amount of days for your game to come out."
Uh-huh.
Mine says the 29th, but on
Uh-huh.
Google, and we found out on your neck of the
Yeah.
woods, it says the
It says the
25th.
25th. Yeah. So
So
who knows?
I'm looking at it, and it says Japan is the
It's the
25th.
25th. Mm-hmm.
Worldwide is the 29th.
29th. Okay. That makes some sense. Because, yeah.
Because
Interesting.
I had a coworker who would come up to me and he'd be like, 21 more days, 20 days, 19 more days. And I was like, oh yeah, oh, I forgot how many days. Let me look. I'm like, oh, how are we back at 22 days? And I told him that, and his world just like shattered.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but no, I mean, other than that, I'm really excited for it. I've been just mowing down the other games nonstop.
Yeah.
I only have two
That's.
left.
Oh, nice. I want to go
Yeah.
back and go through 1 and 2 at least before I start on 3. But I'm so like, I don't know. I'm so like, it's been so long since I've played them that I'm just like, oh, do I really want to invest all that time again? And
To be honest, I would probably just do it. I already did this. I would look up a YouTube video there's a couple that are like maybe an hour and a half long on YouTube
uh,
that just go through entire history. And I found out a couple stuff that I didn't know from playing the games.
mm-hmm.
And that way I'm like, all right, now I fully know or what Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be about and how we got there and everything.
Yeah, I can't recall finishing Kingdom Hearts 2, which is quite problematic considering it's probably going to follow it.
I think 2 is everyone's favorite too.
Yeah. I remember getting to the end of 1 and like the fights at the end of 1 are just absolutely insanely difficult if you've not leveled up enough.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, oh, this is so problematic, but yeah. That game's real good and I definitely need to like play it again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably gonna look into getting that. But there's all the other side games. If you've been playing all of the things, I guess they're all on PS4 now, aren't they?
Yeah, they have a collection called The Storage So Far, so it has literally all 9 games. 3 of them are movies, though.
Okay.
And what's bad about all the side games is they're all main canon games. They're just not main numbered names.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
they all have to do with the story, and if it makes any sense, it's like who the heck is Roxas? Why does he look like or in Birth by Sleep there's a guy named Ventus, and it's like, why does he look like Roxas? But he's not Roxas.
Uh,
Who's Roxas? Why doesn't Roxas look like Sora? And it's just it's a headache and a half, but like once you get the story, you're like, that makes perfect sense.
mm-hmm.
And then someone's like, oh, can you explain it to me? You're like, no. No, I don't know how to
Nope.
explain it, but it makes
It's
perfect sense to me.
yeah, it's so complicated. Like it was so complicated though as well, and like you had Organization 13 turning up in Kingdom Hearts 2, and oh, it's just I don't know. It
Hmm.
was it was so difficult to understand.
And then I found out some like facts of like why Alice in Wonderland or Alice from Alice in Wonderland is a princess of heart, even though she's not a princess. I guess the
Okay.
reason why that is they were gonna do Ariel, but then they're like, well, then we would have to have Ursula already give her legs, and then she wouldn't be able to talk. Spoilers if you haven't seen The Little Mermaid. Um, then
Or
that
played
means
Kingdom Hearts 2. I think uh, Ariel's in there in Kingdom Hearts 2.
I think she's still a
Under
mermaid.
yeah, she is a mermaid. Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
So if they would have had her be human who can talk, then that means Ursula would have been gone because they would have already
Yes.
killed Ursula.
Mhm.
So it was like, oh well, we're missing a princess. Here's Alice, I guess.
Fair enough.
What world are you most excited to explore?
Oh man, I don't really know. Probably the Toy Story one.
Hmm.
I'm like, yeah, kind of keen for the Toy Story one. How about you?
As soon as the Tangled one showed up, I flipped. That is
Mm-hmm.
my favorite Disney princess movie.
Uh-huh.
But Toy Story, especially if they have like a Randy Newman, like kind of a soundtrack sort of deal,
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
that'd be cool. It depends on like which characters they have in it from Toy Story.
Well, I
Which part
know they have
is
Buzz and Woody. I would assume
yeah,
they would have some of the cast.
yeah. I was wondering like whether it be one and two or 1, 2, and 3, and like
Hmm.
uh, if there's a section with Spanish Buzz, like that'd be
That'd be
amazing.
funny.
That'd be the best. Oh man, oh Spanish Buzz just makes me laugh. Oh dear. Yeah, cool. Are there any games you're looking forward to that are coming out this year? Well, obviously, apart from Kingdom Hearts 3.
I was about to say, Kingdom Hearts. If Last of Us 2 gets a release drop, that would be, but technically we can't count that because we don't know if it'll be out.
Yeah, we don't know when that's coming, but the first one was great. I do want to play the second, even though I'm not a massive fan of zombie games, really.
Technically they're not zombie, but I'll let it
Oh,
slide.
yeah.
Um, Anthem, I'm curious about. I'm
Hmm.
hesitant because no offense to Destiny, I don't want it to become a Destiny.
Yeah. It's like
Uh,
a third person Destiny style open world kind of exploratory, upgrade all your stuff, kind of grindy long game. Like Destiny
yeah,
is, but Destiny's a first person shooter and ooh, it's real similar.
like I
Everything.
hope it's a little bit more in depth with story, a little bit
Hmm.
more open world ish from what I understood it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But I'm not putting it down for sure. I'm gonna give it a little bit of chance and wait for reviews, and maybe if like in a month or so it goes on sale, then I'll grab it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one that I'm looking forward to, like, seeing. I want to see what goes on with it. Like Destiny 2 still scratches that itch for me, kind of.
Hmm.
Although I've been playing it less and less. Yesterday, just did the raid with my clan, and we had a great time doing it. But aside from that, like, I've mostly put it down. But it is fun. The DLC that came out is kind of like spread over a decent amount of time now, and it's enjoyable. But yeah, I kind of need a new game to play.
Hmm.
I'm hoping Kingdom Hearts 3 does that initially, but like, yeah, and I'm the thing is, I'm skeptical about EA and their handling of it,
Yeah.
and the way I'm not a massive. It's being done by BioWare. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not a massive BioWare fan. Like, BioWare did Dragon Age, didn't they? I'm taking
I
guesses now, but I thought they did, but I'm not
I think
certain on that. I
so. I
absolutely
was
need to look that up. So
um
yeah. So yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, they
Dragon
did.
Age
They did.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I've never really got hooked by Dragon Age. Um, and so yeah, BioWare kind of, especially like they also did Mass Effect, and Mass Effect 1 and 2 were great, and 3 was okay but confusing. So yeah.
And then
Uh,
there's Andromeda,
mhm.
which people don't talk about.
Yes, yeah. I never
Um
even touched it. So
I'm also looking forward to Borderlands 3. I heard it's rumored to be released on
ooh,
2019, but that one also doesn't have an official release date.
that could be a lot of fun. I've played the first. I've played Borderlands 1 and 2.
Hmm.
I don't know if I played the pre sequel. I'm certain I have it. I think Rachel and I picked it up like initially when we were like trying to find games to play together, but it was between Borderlands and Diablo 3, and somehow Diablo 3 like massively won out.
I mean that one's a it's a good game, especially for I think Rachel's type of cup of tea. I don't see her being a shooter fan, but who knows?
Who knows? We'll see. Depends on, yeah, what kind of game she gets. Well, like what kind of games? Yeah, there's just games that we prefer playing together. And
There was
I don't know.
another game you mentioned. I think it was yesterday. It was
Uh-huh.
looked like a hopefully gonna be a better version of Evolve.
Oh god, what did I write down?
Dauntless.
Oh, Dauntless is like a Monster Hunter style game.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, it's Monster Hunter game. You've got to hunt down and fight and capture potentially big monsters. It's in
Yeah.
beta at the moment. Actually, I've signed up to the open beta. It's a lot. Well, it was fun from what I've played, but I've only played like 2 hours. And in Monster Hunter World's getting an expansion this year, and I'm kind of tempted to go back to it. But Monster Hunter is like its own style of game. You've got to
Yeah.
break limbs, break tails, cut tails off, and break armors on monsters that, yeah, okay, you can take out them quickly at higher ranks if you've got like if you know what you're doing. Like most of the monsters telegraph their moves, but yeah, you can be hunting one monster for about 45, 50 minutes, and
Hmm.
it's a bit of a grind, but you know, that's the kind of game that I really enjoy. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I said, it to me it looked like a hopefully better version of Evolve because I really liked Evolved, but
Mhm.
the community for some reason did not.
It just fell off, didn't it? It just,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, Dom said about that actually a few times. He was like, "Oh, I really liked playing Evolve, but there's just no people playing it, so it's
right.
impossible to find games." It's like, oh no, what a shame. For such a cool, like, asymmetric multiplayer game. It was a cool concept, but it just,
Hmm.
yeah, it just didn't have the engagement that they needed. And then the company went bust, didn't they?
I think they went
Yeah,
bankrupt.
yeah,
We'll say yes until proven otherwise, allegedly.
yeah. Um, but yeah, that was crazy. And then like I need to get through Metro 2033, and then I need to get through Metro Last Light so that we can get to Metro Exodus that's coming out this year. Because I've heard
I
very good things about them, but I have only played like 2 hours of Metro 2033.
You got some homework to do.
Yeah, man. But I've got Metro and Metro Last Light like on my computer. I bought them on Steam, and I'm like, I'm gonna play these. These are cool, good-looking first-person shooters. And then I just never got around to playing them. And I've had this laptop for I don't know, year and a half, and they were like the first games I bought. So, wonder where my motivation is for those right now. But yeah, I definitely need to pick those up because the Metro games have been really well reviewed, and I think Jordan said about them a few times as well. Like he really likes them. Like,
Yeah, I heard they're well. I just never got into them.
yeah, I think it's I don't know. They just they've got like a dark story behind them, so it's yeah, it's real interesting that it's like post-apocalyptic kind of Russia, and yeah, you've got to make it through an underground system that's crawling with these things. That's like only
Hmm.
the bits I've played so far. Like I have no idea like what else is going on. It kind of gives me some Fallout vibes to it, in the like post-apocalyptic sense, traveling through the underground and like moving through that. But yeah, I wish Fallout 76 looked decent and wasn't like so poorly reviewed because like I'm like
It
I really want to play it, but
it had such good potential.
I
It's
know.
just well, especially after the whole bag controversy, like that whole oh, we're just gonna give you like we're gonna make it up with $5 for everyone. Yay, we're good people now instead of actually giving the product that everyone wanted
Yeah,
and you were told you were gonna get. But
yep, yeah.
that's
Oh,
that's Bethesda for you right
yeah,
now.
it's just disappointing. I just wish it was decent, you know. Oh well, oh well. Yeah. Is there like anything else you're looking out for, like coming out this year?
The Avengers movie
Oh
and
man.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse to come out on DVD.
Oh nice. Detective Pikachu's this year as well. I think.
I will see it because it looks fun. No
Yeah.
offense, it doesn't look good like it's gonna be an amazing movie, but it
No,
looks
I don't
like
think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be
yeah.
enjoyable though.
I was like, I think I'll have a couple laughs in this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it does look fun. Yeah, Avengers should be great.
Hmm.
The first one. Has Captain Marvel come out yet?
It comes out in March.
Okay, so that's the next one coming out, I think.
Yeah, it'll be
Okay,
Captain Marvel for a prequel, and then she'll be in the
she'll be
Avengers
in the
movie.
Avengers Endgame. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing like where they go with that because that should be good. It's yeah, definitely interesting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going on. But yeah, I can't. Oh, there's a pro wrestling film coming up, about like The Rock's in it. It was written by Stephen Merchant, and it's about one of the pro wrestlers that's in WWE at the moment who like her career ended up being cut short due to a back injury.
Hmm.
It was either a back injury or a neck injury. It's just the story of like how she got to where she was, and it just looks so funny. It's just about these British kids being picked by the WWE to join the show. And yeah, and I've like been massively into my wrestling recently. Just like
I'll have to check it
so
out. I know my
good.
buddy is also into wrestling, so he might know what that's about.
Nice. Yeah, it looks funny. It's got Nick Frost in it as well. and that should be cool. But it's like the trailer is just full of things to make wrestling fans excited. It's like
Nice.
it's so like not appealing to anyone else. It's like for those wrestling fans, but The Rock's in it because The Rock's in it, and like
Of course, well, why not?
he's the big star, and it's about wrestling, which is where he came from. So like it's cool that he's in
that
it.
he comes from there.
I know, right? Yeah, just like The Rock's in it. He's the wrestler. So yeah, but yeah, there's so much like good wrestling going on at the moment as well, which is kind of mad. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Actually, there's an event going on towards the end of February that I might try and get tickets to. That's up in well, it's not too far away. It's in town. It's about 35, 40 minutes away, just on the other side of where I work. And I'm just like, I could probably go to that on a Saturday and Sunday.
Why not?
So I'll catch up, watch it, see what's going on. Because yeah, they had a big event that was on live last night. I watched it this morning. Like, I knew it was on, and I was just like, nah, I'm just going to do other things. And then this morning when I got up, I was like, why didn't I watch it? Watched it, and I was like, well, this is one of the best shows I've seen in like the last 2 years. I've only been watching for a year, so last year. Let's go for that. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. They had like 5 matches over 2.5 hours, which is a fair pace, considering that the main WWE roster tries to fit like 11 or 12 shows and matches in like 3 hours, which is real gross and just doesn't give enough people enough time. But yeah,
I was gonna say
anyway.
that sound not coming from someone who doesn't watch wrestling. That sounds really rushed right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I don't know, there's a lot of problems with the main roster WWE, but like there's clearly like 2 camps of fans at the moment, and they are catering to both through like their different products. So it's real interesting, but the whole wrestling like landscape at the moment's kind of shifting and evolving into something that we've kind of never seen before. So I'm real interested, but I'm also mega into wrestling. I wrote a journal post last week that was why I like wrestling, and I looked at it over like the past 20 years or so that I've kind of been in and out of watching it, and I was like, got to the end of it, I'm just like, I think I understand why I like this now. Like I took it and just like dissected it. I wrote like 1,600 words on it as well. I was like, that's mad. But like that's me using way too many words for simple things.
Depends on how you write it, or use them, I should say.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And then that's like one of the things I'm working on this year. I want to try and do like these longer style journal posts where I'm kind of putting more thought into them. And like that was one of the ones that I was like, I could totally write about that for a bit. And then I had like Kimmy Schmidt on the TV, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt on Netflix. I was like, this is great. And I was sitting there and I wrote for like an hour and a half, and I was just like, well, I've gone through 4 episodes of Kimmy Schmidt and still not finished this.
It's like that one episode of SpongeBob where he's like just sitting there writing for like what seems hours. And he's just like, yeah, I'm doing it. And then he's like, whoo, time for a break. Let's see what I have. The break time.
Oh man, SpongeBob's the best. But, crazy. Right, Derek, where can we find you across the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at DRHAIRZ at Dr. Harris.
Nice. Cool. I can be found across the internet at DestroyTopham or at Ethafar. That's YTHAFAR. I've just like redone my website, so it's kind of a lot cleaner and simplified, and just so that it's visually more appealing. It's kind of got a grey, blue, and purple colour scheme now, which I kind of like. So, yeah, that's all going on. Thanks very much for joining me this week, Derek.
Thank you for having me.
Alrighty, and thank you everyone for listening. Have an exciting week. Goodbye.
Bye.